What's up, Math 8? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. We are looking at lesson 7.6 and going over scatter plots. This is our last lesson in chapter 7 before prepping for our end of chapter quiz and test. We're going to be able to construct and use scatter plots, describe patterns, and then also sketch and use something called a line of fit. First thing we want to know is, what is a scatter plot? That's going to show us a graph that'll show a relationship between two sets of data. Sometimes the relationship will be a positive or a negative one. Sometimes it's nonlinear, and sometimes there is going to be no relationship, so we'll look at to see what those look like here. Types of relationships, you're going to draw these in your notes because these don't have graphs or anything. The first one is a positive linear. That just means it's a line and it's going in an upwards fashion. Negative linear is looks sort of like going in a line but just going down. Non-linear means you're not making a line. It's like a swoop or a zigzag. And then no relationship just looks like you scattered some confetti or you scattered some sprinkles. Okay? The other three things we want to talk about before we try some questions is the following things: outliers, gaps, and data and clusters. An outlier is a data point that does not fit with the rest of the data. So a lot of times we'll get maybe like positive data, but then all of a sudden we got this one guy hanging out all by itself. A gap is an empty space in the data that is larger than the others. So we might have like here's some and then here's some. So this would be representative of the gap. And then a cluster is a group of data points. Maybe we have like a lot of here and then we have like some more just scattered this way. Okay? Make sure you have those three things filled out, and then let's go ahead and try some questions. So the next one says, describe the relationship between the data and then identify any outliers, gaps, or clusters. So this first one, we are having a positive linear relationship. Okay. We are seeing a few things. Right here, we're going to see an outlier. And it's looking like we've got maybe a gap right here. And then I'm also showing these three or these four as clusters. Okay. For the next one, there is no relationship shown. And because there is no relationship, you can not have any outliers or gaps when no relationship. Okay. Next up is our line of fit. So line of fit is a line drawn on a scatter plot that is close to most points of the data. We use them for estimation. This should have as many points as possible on the line, and the rest of the points could be split in half. So like half of them are above the line, half are below the line. Okay. So we're going to practice drawing a line of fit here. It says the scatter plot shows the amount of fat in grams and the number of calories in 12 restaurant sandwiches. Okay, so we've got 12 dots here. We're going to answer a few questions and then we'll sketch a line of fit. How many calories are in the sandwich that contains 17 grams of fat? Well, 17 grams of fat is showing about 400 calories. How many grams of fat are in the sandwich that contains 600? Well, 600 is here and it is intercepting with 30 grams. What tends to happen to the number of calories as the number of grams of fat increases? And it says, so basically, as fat increases, so does calories. So we can also call this a positive linear relationship. Letter D says sketch a line of fit. So what we're going to try to do is draw a straight line through most of the points of data and about have half on the underside of it, half on the upper side of it. So we're looking kind of about this. Okay. This is going to help us estimate. So letter E says estimate how many calories are in a sandwich with 5 grams of fat. We might want to estimate somewhere between, here's 5 grams, so in between 300 and 350. It's closer to the 340 range. So we'll say like 340 calories. Okay. Next up, we're going to build scatter plots. So this table shows number of absences and final grades for each student in a sample. Make a scatter plot for the data and then describe the relationship. So absences is going to be our X column, final grade is our Y. Let's go ahead and start building our graph. So absences is on the x-axis, and I go all the way up to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll go ahead and do a few more. Okay. This is absences. And then final grade, I'm going all the way up to 95, but if I go up by 5s, I don't know if I make it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Nope, so let's do by 10s here. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start graphing some of these. So 0 absences, 95 grade. 3 absences, about 88. 2 absences, 90, 1, 2. 5 absences, 83. 7 absences, 79. 9 absences, 70. 4 absences, 85. 1 absence, 94. 10 absences, 65. And 8 absences, 75. Okay? So now that we've made a scatter plot, the relationship that we're seeing is a negative linear. Okay, that just means as absences increase, grade decreases. Okay, and then it says sketch a line of fit, so I'm just going to try to hit all those points as much as I can with a straight line, and it's looking like it'd be something around there. Okay. The last one, again, making a scatter plot, identify any outliers, gaps, or clusters, and then sketch a line of fit. So we have study time as our X, and test score is our Y. So let's go ahead and set up our X and our Y axes. Our Y's all the way go up to 100, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And then our study time goes up to 120, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. That'll be perfect. So I'm going to count up by 10s here as well. So 10, 20, 30. The longest part is setting it up, so thanks for being patient. Okay, so this is our time, and this is our score. And I don't know if we did this on the previous one. I just didn't put grades. Okay, first one up, 30 minutes, 80 score. 20 minutes, 74. 60 minutes, 92. 90 minutes, 97. 45 minutes, 85. 10 minutes, a 62. 30 minutes, 83. 75 minutes, a 90. And 120 minutes, a 70. Oh man, this person studied for a long time. and then 80 minutes, 91. Okay, this one is asking us outlier, gap, and cluster. Okay, so just as a reminder, an outlier is a data point that doesn't fit, a gap is an empty space that's larger than the others, and a cluster is a group. So, outlier first. I'm going to say that this guy right here is an outlier, which also shows us a gap, and then a cluster I would say is right around here. Okay, so hopefully that helps you kind of get an idea of what some scatter plots are. If it did, give this video a thumbs up. Hopefully you tune in next time when we start to review for the end of unit quiz, and then after that will be our final test. Have a great day, and thanks for tuning in.